The first thing you must understand about the root is its thirst. It is not like the thirst of a beast for water or a hatchling for milk. It is the thirst of the soil for the rain it has not known, a deep and patient wanting that underpins all things. You see this obsidian knife, scouts many marshes. You see its edge finer than a dragonfly wing. You think it is a tool for taking. You are wrong. It is a tool for giving. Do not touch it yet. Your hands are clean, but your mind is not. You are thinking of the praise from the lucule, of the status a keeper holds. You think of the cool sleep that follows the communion. These are the thoughts of a child reaching for moon sugar. This work is not sweet. Hold your hands out, let me see them. They are strong. Good for paddling a canoe, for wrestling a mud crab. They are not yet hands for this. The Hist does not feel pain as we do. It does not bleed as we do. But it remembers every cut. Every keeper who came before me is a memory in its sap. Every keeper who was clumsy or greedy or afraid is a scar on its bark. I can feel them now. One from generations ago who tried to take too much for a sick clutchmate. The bark here is puckered and gray. The tree never forgot his panic. Another, my own master, who slipped on the slick root and made a jagged wound. His shame still echoes in the sap I draw from this spot. It tastes of regret. This grove is older than the Saxleel, older than the sun and the moon, some say. It has watched empires of scaled things rise and fall. It watched the Dunmer come with their chains, and it watched them flee from the fires of the Red Year. I remember hearing the stories from a trader who came up the river. He spoke of the ash, the desperation. He could not understand why we did not weep for Morrowind. The Hist remembers the slave brands. The Hist does not forget. Its memory is long, and it is ours. This is what you serve, not the village, not the Anzalil and their puffed-up pride, so like that of Ulfric Stormcloak in the frozen north. You serve the memory. Now watch me. The knife does not slice, it persuades. You lay the edge against the bark here where the newest growth is pale and soft. You do not push. You let the weight of the stone do the work. You breathe in, you breathe out. You think of nothing but the connection between your hand, the blade, and the living wood. It is a prayer, a slow, deliberate line, no more than a handspan long. See how the sap wells up? It is clear as water. This is the sap of welcome. It is thin, almost tasteless. It is the tree acknowledging your presence. Place the bowl beneath. A shell from the western sea polished by 100,000 tides. It must be a thing of nature. The Hist despises the sharp angles of forged metal. The sap drips. 1 drop, 2, 3. The sound is the only one that matters in the world. You must count them, not with your voice, but in your heart. Each drop is a word from the Hist. It is telling you its health. It is telling you the state of the clutch, the mood of the swamp. Today the drops are slow. They are heavy. There is worry in the tree. A shadow falls over the land that we cannot see yet. You will not drink this first sap. It is a greeting, and to consume it is an act of rudeness, like eating the food offered to a guest before they have arrived. We will pour this offering back onto the roots, a gift for a gift. This is the first principle, balance. The Hist gives and we give back. We are part of its life, not masters of it. Your face is tight, scouts many marshes. You thought this would be a matter of slash and collect. You thought it was a craft like tanning a hide or weaving a reed mat. It is not a craft. It is a conversation. And you must learn the language before you are allowed to speak. The language is patience. The language is respect. The language is the silence between the drips of sap into a bowl made of shell. Now we wait. We wait for the tree to speak again. It may be an hour. It may be the rest of the day. While we wait, you will listen. You will learn to hear the swamp. Not just the buzz of the torch bugs or the croak of the frog, but the slow, grinding hum of life itself. It is the sound of the Hist breathing. It is all around us. Most are too deafened by their own thoughts to hear it. A keeper must be hollow, a vessel waiting to be filled. Empty your mind of the village. Empty it of your ambitions. There is only the tree, the knife, the bowl, and the waiting. I remember my first time. My master, scales like moss. He did not speak a word to me for 3 days. We just sat here. He would make the cut, collect the greeting sap, and pour it back. Then we would sit. I thought it was a test of my patience. I was a fool. It was not a test. It was the lesson. On the 4th day, he handed me the knife. My hand shook. I made the cut. It was too shallow. A stingy little scratch that barely wept a single drop. He did not scold me. He simply took the knife, made the proper cut beside mine, and we sat for another day. I learned more from that silence than from any words the Luciole ever spoke. The air is growing thick, the light is changing, the tree is ready to give. The sap that comes now will be different. It will be the color of amber, and it will hold the warmth of the sun. This is the sap of knowing. This is what the Luciole will drink to guide the village. It holds memories of harvests and famines, of great triumphs and quiet sorrows. To drink it is to live 1,000 lives in a single breath. It can break a mind that is not prepared. The preparation is not of the body, it is of the soul. You must be at peace with your own short life, with your own small space in the world. The Hist contains everything. If you have a great pride, it will show you a time when you were a crawling worm. If you have a great fear, it will make you live it for a generation. It does not do this out of malice. The Hist does not know malice. It knows only what is. It shows you the truth, and the truth can be a terrible thing for a mind built on small lies. I once saw a keeper, a visitor from a northern tribe who came here on a pilgrimage. He was a great warrior, his scales covered in the scars of many battles. He believed his strength was his own. He demanded a draught of the sap of knowing. Scales like moss warned him, but the warrior was arrogant. He drank a full bowl. I watched his eyes. At first they were wide with wonder, then with confusion, then with terror. He began to scream. He was not seeing battles. He was seeing his own bones turning to mud on the forest floor. He was feeling himself being eaten by beetles. He was experiencing the slow, patient decay of his own flesh as it became part of the swamp. He was learning that his strength was just borrowed soil. They had to carry him away. He never spoke again. He just sat in his hut staring at his hands until he starved. So, you see, the knife is the least dangerous thing in this grove. The real danger is in the bowl. It is the danger of knowing too much, of seeing your own life as it truly is, a single drop of sap in an ocean of being. It is a humbling thing. Humility is the second principle of a keeper. Without it, you are just a thief with a sharp rock. The sap is flowing faster now, the color is deepening, the scent is rising from the bowl. It smells of wet earth and sunlight and crushed flowers and something else, something ancient and green. This is the heart of the world in a single scent. Breathe it in, let it fill you, but do not let it overwhelm you. Stay anchored to your own breath. You are scouts, many marshes. You were hatched in the season of high water. Your left foot has 6 toes. These small, simple truths are the stones you must hold on to when the river of the Hist threatens to wash you away. I will make the collection. You are not ready. Your breathing is too fast. Your eyes are too wide. You are still the child reaching for the sweet treat. Watch my hands, they do not tremble, not because I am without fear, but because I have made my peace with it. The fear is part of the conversation, I acknowledge it. I let the Hist see it. The tree does not judge, it only knows. The bowl is half full. This is enough for the Luciole. To take more would be to indulge. The Hist provides what is needed, not what is wanted. That is the third principle. Sufficiency. We take only our share. I will seal the cut now, not with fire or wax like a Dunmer sealing a wound on a pack gar. I use a poultice of mud and moss, the same mud that feeds the roots, the same moss that clings to the bark. We heal the tree with its own substance. We return what we have disturbed. It is a circle. I am not sure why I am telling you this part. Perhaps because scales like moss never did, and I suffered for it. When you are keeper, you will spend much of your time alone. Here, in the silence. And the silence will begin to seep into you. You will go back to the village, and the sounds of hatchlings playing and elders arguing will seem loud and strange and meaningless. You will find yourself preferring the company of the tree. You will start to feel the memories from the sap even when you have not drunk it. A flicker of a life lived by another, the terror of a saber cat hunt from 1,000 years ago, the quiet joy of a sunbeam on scales. Your own memories will start to thin. You will forget the name of the girl who gave you your first marsh lily. You will struggle to recall the face of your own clutch mother. It is not a violent forgetting. It is a gentle fading, like a drawing left out in the sun. The lines blur, the colors pale. Your small life is diluted by the great life of the Hist. This is the true price. This is the job. You are not just a keeper of the sap. You are a keeper of the memories, and to hold all of them, you must make room. You must empty yourself. My name is Bimja, I think. Some days I am not so sure. Some days I am the warrior who died in the reeds. I am the mother who lost her clutch to the fever. I am the root that pushes through the dark soil. I am all of them, and I am Bimja. A little, enough to teach you. The responsibility is the fourth principle and the heaviest. You are the bridge between the mind of the tree and the minds of your people. If you fail, if your mind breaks, if you bring back a tainted memory or a false vision, the village could suffer. You could lead the hunters into a dry marsh. You could tell the farmers to plant before the flood. The lives of your people rest on the clarity of your mind, a mind you must willingly allow to be eroded. It is a paradox, a cruel one. He was a good man, my master. No, he was a tired man. Near the end, he would sometimes call me by his own brother's name. He would speak of events that happened long before he was hatched, speak of them as if he had been there. He was not mad, he was just full. His vessel had no more room for himself. When he died, it was a quiet thing. He simply lay down here at the base of the tree and went to sleep. The roots grew over him in a single night. He gave himself back to the source. This is the final gift, the last act of balance. Now, scouts many marshes, you have heard the truth of it. The work is not glorious. It is a slow and steady dissolving of the self. It is a great honor. No, that is what the villagers say. It is a great weight. Do you still want it? Look at the knife. Look at the bowl. They are not symbols of power. They are symbols of sacrifice. The choice is yours. But make it now. The Hist is listening, and it does not like indecision. It tastes of rot. You reach for the knife. Your hand is steady. That is either a very good sign or a very bad one. I cannot tell yet. But you did not flinch. That is something. You hold it not like a tool, but like a sacred object. You feel its weight. The cold, smooth obsidian, it feels like a part of the earth because it is. You are holding a piece of the fire that burns at the center of the world. Treat it with that level of respect. Your first task is not to cut, it is to clean. We clean the tools after every use, not just to keep them sharp, but to remove our own presence from them. We use the river water and fine sand. You scrub away the residue of the sap, and with it, the intent you held when you used it. The tool must be neutral. It cannot carry the greed of yesterday into the work of tomorrow. The whole thing is a ritual from start to finish. Every step has meaning. If you treat any part of it as a chore, the sap will know. It will turn bitter in the bowl. Let us speak of the other saps. The amber is for knowing. The clear is for greeting. But there is a third. It is rare. Sometimes years pass without the Hist offering it. It is the color of a clouded sky, a milky white. It does not flow easily. It is thick, like resin. This is the sap of shaping. The Lucule do not drink this, no one does. It is not for the mind, it is for the body. When a clutch of eggs is weak, when the hatchlings are born with soft shells or crooked limbs, we bring them here. We anoint them with the white sap. It reshapes them, it strengthens their bones, clears their lungs. It reminds their bodies of the proper form. It draws upon the memory of a million perfect hatchlings to correct the few who are not. It is a great gift, a miracle. But the shaping requires a price. The tree gives a piece of its deep memory to the hatchling. In return, the keeper must offer a memory of his own, a true one, a potent one. He must sit with the sap on his fingers and push a memory of his own life into the bark. The memory of his first swim, the taste of his first meal, the pain of his first wound. The tree drinks it, and the keeper is left with a hole, a space where that memory used to be. He knows something happened, but the details are gone, smudged, replaced by a vague sense of loss. Scales, like moss, gave many memories to save the hatchlings of his time. Towards the end, his own past was a patchwork of missing pieces. He would ask me, did I ever travel north of our village? And I would have to tell him, yes, master, you journeyed to the sea twice. He would nod, but his eyes would be empty. He had given those journeys to the tree in exchange for the life of a sick child. This is the weight. This is the job. It is not just your mind that you sacrifice, it is your story. You trade your own narrative for the survival of the people. You are quiet now, scouts many marshes. The arrogance has drained out of you, that is good. Arrogance is a poison to this work. Now you just look frightened. That is better. Fear is honest. The Hist respects honesty. It is a living thing, but it is not like an animal. It does not have emotions like anger or love or jealousy. It has states of being, health, sickness, balance, imbalance. Our job is to maintain the balance. We are like the small fish that swim beside the great turtle, eating the parasites from its shell. We are small, but our function is vital. The sun is touching the tops of the trees, the light is turning red. Our work for today is done. We have the sap for the Lucule. We have cleaned the tools. We have left the grove in peace. Now we paddle back to the village, and you will not speak of what you have learned to anyone, not because it is a secret, but because the words will fail. They cannot understand. They see the keeper walk with purpose. They see the Lucule drink the sap and speak with wisdom, and they think it is a simple magic. They do not see the cost. It is better that they do not. Their faith must be in the Hist, not in the hollow man who serves it. I see you look back at the tree as we leave. You are trying to memorize its shape, the twist of its branches. You think you can hold it in your mind. You cannot. It is too vast. Trying to understand the Hist with your mind is like trying to hold the river in your hands. You can scoop up a little water, but the river itself flows on uncaring. You do not understand the Hist. You experience it. You allow it to flow through you. That is all. Tomorrow we will return, and you will make the first cut. You will feel the life of the tree through the blade. You will feel its awareness of you, and you will be afraid. You will think of the warrior who went mad. You will think of scales like moss being consumed by the roots. You will think of your memories thinning like morning mist, and you must make the cut anyway. You must perform the ritual. You must be the vessel. Your fear is just another gift you offer to the tree, another drop of yourself to be absorbed. There is a question in your eyes. Ask it. Do not carry it back to your sleeping mat. It will sour your dreams. Why? You whisper the word. It is a small sound in the great swamp. Why you? Why me? A fair question, the simplest and the hardest. Why is the keeper chosen? It is not a matter of skill or strength or bloodline. The Hist chooses. When a keeper begins to fade, as I am fading, the tree sends a signal, not a sound, not a vision. It is a feeling, a restlessness in one of the young ones, a dream of green things growing, a pull towards this grove. Did you not feel it? The urge to walk this way even when your duties were elsewhere? The sense that something was waiting for you? That is the call. Most ignore it. They distract themselves with work, with mates, with the small urgencies of village life. They feel the pull and they are afraid, so they walk faster in the other direction. But a few are curious or foolish. They follow the pull. They come to the grove. They find the keeper and their training begins. I followed the pull. I found scales like moss sitting right where I sat today. And he told me the things I have told you, and I was afraid. And I stayed. You followed the pull. You found me. Now you know the price. You can leave. You can go back to the village, and in a year the pull will fade. You will forget the things I have told you. You will live your life. You will have a clutch, and you will grow old, and your memories will be your own. No one will judge you. The Hist does not judge. It will simply call another. Or you can stay. You can learn the language of the sap. You can become the bridge. You can trade your story for the story of the people. You can serve the memory. I cannot make the choice for you, Scout's many marshes. No one can. But look at the water. See how the red light of the sunset makes it look like blood. The whole swamp is drinking the sky. Everything is connected. Everything is a cycle of giving and taking. To be keeper is to simply stand at the center of that cycle consciously. To be the heart that pumps the blood of memory through the body of the tribe. It is a terrible and beautiful thing. We are back at the village. The smells of cooking fish and damp thatch greet us, the sounds of life. It feels different to you now, does it not? A little less real, a little more fragile. This is the beginning of the thinning. The world of the Hist is starting to feel more solid than the world of your people. Go, eat, sleep if you can. Your dreams will be strange tonight. The Hist will be tasting your spirit, deciding if you are worthy, if your vessel is strong enough to hold its truth without cracking. I will know in the morning when I see your eyes. I take the sap to the Luciol's hut. He is an old Argonian, his scales the color of dried mud. He sees the bowl in my hands and his eyes clear. He is not a keeper. He does not know the deep truths, but he respects the ritual. He drinks. His body goes rigid. His eyes roll back. He is not in the hut anymore. He is in the memory of the Hist. He sees the fish moving in the deep water. He sees the blight on the reeds at the edge of the marsh. He sees the coming of the dry season. When he returns, he will have wisdom. He will tell the hunters where to cast their nets. He will tell the gatherers which plants to avoid. The village will be safe, prosperous. He will thank me. He will say, "Thank you, keeper. The Hist is generous." He does not understand. The Hist is not generous. The Hist is. It simply is. I am the one who pays the price for his wisdom. I take his empty bowl and walk back to my hut. It is small and it is away from the others. I prefer it this way. The quiet helps. I sit and I try to remember my own hatching day. I cannot. I know it happened. I have a vague impression of warmth and wetness, but the details are gone. I gave that memory away. For a child with a lung sickness. The child is a strong hunter now. He does not know that a piece of my past lives in his breath. It is a fair trade. I think it is a fair trade. I have to believe it is. That is the fifth and final principle. Faith. Not in a God, not in a person. Faith in the balance, a belief that the sacrifices matter. Without that, a keeper would truly go mad. The next morning you are waiting for me by the canoes before the sun is up. Your eyes are not the eyes of a frightened boy. They are not the eyes of an arrogant youth. They are still. Hollow, you did not sleep. You wrestled with the choice all night, and you have made it. You do not need to speak. I can see it. You will stay. I feel a great sadness for you and a great respect. Today you will make the cut. I will guide your hand, but the intent must be yours. Remember the principles: balance, humility, sufficiency, responsibility, faith. They are not just words. They are the anchors that will keep your soul from being swept away. We paddle back to the grove. The air is different today. The worry I felt yesterday is stronger. The sap will be different. The conversation will be harder. I did not tell you this yesterday. Sometimes the Hist is in pain, not from a cut, from something deeper, a sickness in the land, a poison in the water, or a corruption from without. The Daedric princes, they whisper at the edges of the world. Their influence can touch even this sacred place. When that happens, the sap runs black. It is bitter. It smells of decay. To drink it is to invite madness, but to leave it is to allow the sickness to fester. This is the hardest duty of a keeper. He must draw the black sap. He must take the poison into himself. He becomes a filter. He must use his own soul to purify the sickness. He must find the memory of health within himself and push it back into the tree. It is an agony beyond description. To feel the wrongness of a Daedric thought grinding against the pure truth of the Hist. Scales like moss did it once. A cult of Molag Bal had tried to make a foothold in the north. They were torturing the creatures of the swamp, twisting them into abominations. The Hist felt it as a spike of cold, dead iron in its heart. My master drew the black sap for a week. He grew thin, his scales turned gray. He would scream in his sleep. But he cleansed the grove. He pushed the corruption out. The cultists were found dead, their bodies covered in fast-growing vines. The Hist had learned a new kind of anger from my master's pain. He saved us. But he was never the same. He was more hollow than ever. That was when he began calling me by his brother's name. I pray to the roots that you never have to face that, but you must know it is possible. The keeper is not just a nurturer. He is a protector, a guardian. His own body and mind are the final wall between this sacred place and the darkness that wants to devour it. We are here. The grove is wrong. The air is still, too still. The torchbugs are not dancing. The frogs are silent. The hum of life is gone, replaced by a low, dissonant thrum. It is the feeling of a sour note held too long. My scales prickle. The tree. Look at it. There is a darkness spreading from the base of the trunk. A creeping black stain on the bark. The sickness is here. I did not want you to see this, not yet, not ever, but the choice is made. You are here. And the work must be done, the black sap must be drawn. I will do it, you say. Your voice is a dry rasp. No. I tell you, this is not a lesson, this is a battle. A novice does not fight the war chief on his first day of training. My hand is on the obsidian knife. It feels colder than usual, heavier. I approach the tree. The thrumming grows louder in my head. It is a sound of pure despair, of things ending, of hope being unmade. I can feel the memories in the tree recoiling from it, hiding. I find a spot just above the black stain. I lay the blade against the bark. I breathe in, out. I try to find my center, my own small, quiet place. But the despair is a flood. It washes over me. It shows me images, my own corpse rotting at the root of the tree, the village burning, the swamp turning to ash. It is a lie, a poison meant to break my will. I close my eyes. I think of the principles: balance, humility, sufficiency, responsibility, faith. I repeat them like a mantra, a shield against the lies. I make the cut. The sap that wells up is not liquid. It is a thick, oily sludge. It is the color of crude oil, and it shimmers with a sickening purple and green. It does not drip. It oozes. The smell hits me. It is the smell of burnt flesh and soured milk and old, wet graves. It is the smell of violation. I place the shell bowl beneath it. The sludge falls with a soft, wet plop. It coats the pure white shell with its filth. My stomach heaves. My mind reels. The thrumming is inside my skull now. A voice, ancient and cruel, whispers to me. It tells me to give up, to let the darkness win. It promises an end to the pain, to the sacrifice, to the slow erosion of myself. It offers oblivion, a quiet, empty peace. It is a tempting offer. I am so tired, so hollow. It would be so easy to just stop, to let the poison flow, to let the tree die, to let my own memories fade into nothing. Master! Your voice cuts through the despair. It is a small, sharp sound, a single point of light in the crushing darkness. I look at you. Your face is a mask of terror, but you are still standing. You have not run. You are holding your ground. You are a fool, a brave, stupid fool. And you have saved me. The voice of despair loses its grip. Your presence reminds me of my purpose. I am not just Beamjaw. I am the keeper. I am the bridge. I am the wall. I turn back to the tree. I will not drink the sap. I cannot. It would destroy me. I must use a different method, the one scales like moss taught me for the deepest poisons. I press my own hand against the wound I made. I close my eyes. And I push. I push my own memories into the tree, not just one, all of them. I push the memory of the sun on my scales, the taste of a fat, juicy beetle, the feeling of swimming in the cool river, the sound of my clutch mother's call. I push my own life force, my own story against the tide of despair. It is my light against its darkness, my small, warm life against its vast, cold emptiness. The pain is immense. It feels like my soul is being torn apart. The black sap sizzles against my skin, burning me. The voice screams in my head. It shows me everything I have ever feared. But I do not stop pushing. I give everything. I empty my vessel completely. I become a conduit of pure life, pure memory, pure Saxhleel spirit. I feel the thrumming begin to weaken. The voice fades to a hiss. The blackness in the sap begins to recede. A touch of amber appears at the edge of the wound. The smell of rot is replaced by the faint scent of wet earth. It is working. The balance is being restored. I am falling. My strength is gone. I have given too much. The darkness takes me. I wake up. My head is in your lap. You are wiping my face with a damp leaf. The grove is quiet. The terrible thrum is gone. The air is clean again. I look at the tree. The black stain is gone. The wound I made is weeping a clear, healthy sap. The greeting sap. You did it, you whisper. We did it. I correct you. Your shout was the turning point. You held the line. I try to stand. My legs are weak. I feel thin, thinner than ever before. I look at my hands. They seem unfamiliar. I try to recall my master's face. Scales like moss. I can remember his name. But his features are a blur, a smudge. The poison took much from me. The fight cost me dearly. You helped me to my feet. You are no longer a boy. The terror of the last hour has forged you into something new. Your eyes are old. You have seen the true face of the enemy. You have seen the true nature of this work. The Lucule will get no sap today, I say. My voice sounds strange to me. The tree must rest. We must rest. We paddle back in silence. The world seems brighter, the colors sharper. After the deep darkness, the simple light of day is a treasure. I am empty. But the grove is safe. The balance holds. It is a fair trade. When we reach the village, you help me to my hut. You do not leave. You sit with me. You fetch me water. You tend to the burn on my hand. You do not speak. You simply serve. You have learned the most important lesson of all, the one that cannot be taught in words, the principle of service, the quiet, thankless, endless work of holding back the dark. I do not know how many memories I have left. I do not know how much of Beamjaw remains, but I know this: the grove is safe, the people are safe, and I am not alone anymore. There is a new keeper learning the steps of the ritual. The work continues, the weight is shared. That is enough. Now rest. Tomorrow your true training begins. You must learn how to heal the tree, and I must try to remember my own name. When you offer your blood, do not flinch. The Hist tastes your fear before it tastes the wound.